So let's continue our today's session, that is 2D element. Let me clear, this unit is very much short and simple. Okay, so and maybe completed in 6 or 7 session or lecture. So please attend all lectures and complete this unit and get more marks for exam point of view. So unit number 3, that is 2D element, and syllabus covered in unit number 3, that is two-dimensional stress analysis. So in this topic we'll cover various type of analysis problem, or in terms of stress analysis. So basically there are two type. First one, that is plane stress problem, and second one in plane strain problem, and third we consider as a symmetric problem. So basically only two, that is stress and strain problem. A single problem you can consider as a plane strain and plane stress problem. Okay, because if you take a single rod and apply a tensile force in x direction, so normal stresses occur or induce in bar, that is sigma x, and similarly uh, strain in x direction, that is we consider as a 1D problem. And in case of 2D, uh, stresses in x direction, stresses in y direction, that is we consider xy plane, so that is plane stress condition. And similarly that same problem consider as a plane strain problem, because deformation take place in x and y direction only. In that case stresses and strain in z direction consider as a 0. So a single problem we can consider as a plane stress and plane strain problem. Next, in this unit we mainly focus on CST element, that is constant strain triangular element, and second element, that is LSR, linear strain rectangle element. In unit number 2, ma'am covered bar element, means in that unit uh, one point is that you covered problem on bar element, and in next session you will cover a truss problem and beam problem. Means there are three category of numerical unit in unit number 2, that is topic of bar, then topic of truss, and topic of beam. And in unit number 3 we will mainly focus on only CST element and LSR element and its numerical. So a main syllabus of unit number 3 is shape function of CST and LSR, and formulation of element stiffness matrix for CST and LSR. Means uh, basically this is a numerical subject and numerical topic. In exam there is a chances to ask a numerical, means 80% chances to ask numerical on shape function of CST and LSR, and 80% chances to ask a numerical uh, on CST LSR by using formulation of element stiffness matrix. Such type of problems, or methodology of formulation of element stiffness matrix for bar already solved in unit number 2. With same methodology you can solve CST and LSR numericals by formulation of element stiffness matrix. Means you already know that methodology, how to solve stiffness matrix problem. Means first we discretize the object, then after that formulation of element stiffness matrix, then club all element stiffness matrix and perform global stiffness matrix. After that, apply boundary condition. Next step, find out displacement. After that, find out stresses and strain. But in this case, means LST and LSR, this numerical are quite lengthy. That's why exam point of view, examiner asks only uh, find out up to displacement only. They will not expect find out stresses and strain or reaction. Okay, so means by using same methodology, you solve formulation of element stiffness matrix for bar, suppose in 10 step. So in this unit we require only 5 to 6 steps, means find out displacement of CST or LSR only. Okay, so uh, this type of problem or methodology of this type of problem you already very well known. So only new concept is that numerical or concept of shape function of CST and LSR. So this is a very short syllabus for unit number 3. Okay, so mostly we will concentrate on shape function, and later on we will cover formulation of element stiffness matrix for CST and LSR. Okay, so today's it is somewhat introductory section, so we need not calculator for solving any numericals. Okay, uh, after syllabus we will look some university question, which type of means university question asked for you in exam. So this is unit number 3, 2015 pattern. Before 2018 there is a 2012 pattern. So mostly syllabus are equal. So numerical asks on unit number 3. You can see find out a shape. This is actually a numerical based on shape function. So you have triangular element, and then find out displacement of given point P, means if you know the shape function of at point 1, 2, 3, so you can find intermediate point or displacement of on intermediate point on element. Then stress strain relation, element stresses. So calculation of stresses or strain you can find in shape function, not in formulation element stiffness matrix. Then how Pascal triangle is used to determine shape function, means some theoretical question asked on the basis of shape function, means some terminology used in CST and LSR element. So a minimum of 4 marks or maximum 6 marks theoretical question asked in exam, and a numerical minimum 6 mark and maximum 10 marks question asked in exam. Okay, so you can see here August 2018 6 mark, August 2018 4 marks. Then characteristic of shape function, determine the Cartesian coordinate of point P. This is also on shape function. Then means zeta and eta. Whenever you find this symbol zeta and eta, means that is a question on shape function. This is also on shape function. Then this is based on coordinate system. Then you know mesh refinement. This is also on shape function. This is theoretical question based on formulation of element stiffness matrix. Then this is also on shape function. This is also on shape function. This is theoretical on shape function. Okay, means in 2015 pattern, if you carefully observe, means 80% question or maybe 90% question asked from shape function. So for unit number 3, shape function topic is much important. This is shape function of LST. Okay, so we mainly concentrated on shape function on CST and LSR. Before that, we need to cover a shape function of 1 bar. Before that, we need to cover a coordinate system. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. Okay, so this is regarding our syllabus of unit number 3 and UniCOD question pattern, format, and various type of question. Okay, should I proceed further? I think this is just introductory part. We will continue. Okay, so learning objective of this session. So in this session, we'll try to cover introduction of 2D element, then type of 2D element, type of 2D stress analysis problem. Okay. Okay. Is there any having problem regarding my audio or screen? If no, please reply me immediately, or I will continue. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your reply. Okay. Let's continue. So, introduction. First, we will clarify what is 1D element problem, what is 2D element problem. Can you tell me in a single word what is 1D element problem, or how to define 1D element problems? Okay, nodes having only 1 degree of freedom. Some student write has only 1 degree of freedom. Some student write force and displacement in only in 1 dimensional. Yes, all are correct, because I know that you are carefully attended lecture of Snail ma'am. So I'm very much happy. Okay, 1D element problem is nothing but we use one dimensional elements in problem, element having only 2 nodes, one at each end, means left and right. Then only we can consider one direction, 1 degree of freedom, and application of force also in one direction. Good. Then next, can you comment on 2D element problems? Same as you, many of reply correctly. What is 1D elements problem? Can you reply? What do you mean by 2D element problem? Can you reply 2D element problems? Yes, good. Element having 2 dimensions, then 2 degree of freedom. Yes, correct. Maybe in X and Y direction, X, Z direction, or there are a lot of combination of X, Y, Z. So we can consider only 2 direction or 2 degree of freedom. So generally we consider X and Y direction, and third one is negligible or low. Okay. In 2D element, how many number of node, minimum number of node, कितने हो सकते हैं minimum number of nodes in 2D elements? Yes, correct. Rahul Mahajan write 2. if there are two nodes and you join that two nodes, means minimum distance between 2 points is nothing but line, and line is not a 2D element. ये basic है ना? Means we required minimum 3 nodes for defining 2D elements, that is triangular, and after that means if you consider 4 means square, 5 means penta, 6 like on, हमने graphics में भी पढ़ा है. Okay, so for 1D elements maximum 2 nodes, and for 2D elements minimum 3 and maximum n number of nodes. Okay, then each node having 2 degrees of freedom in x and y direction. Okay, suppose I am considering triangular element having 3 nodes, so tell me the total number of degree of freedom. Because yes 6, because this number represent your size of global stiffness matrix. Okay, each node having 2 degrees of freedom, there are 3 nodes means total 6 degrees of freedom, means ultimately your global stiffness size is equal to 6 by 6. Okay, if you decide this correctly, so you can solve formulation element stiffness matrix easily. Okay, so right now just remind only 2D element problem is nothing but element having minimum 3 node, that is triangular if you consider minimum 3 nodes, and each node having 2 degrees of freedom xy and total 6 if you consider a square element 4 node and 8 degrees of freedom. Okay, likewise, so 8, if you consider 8 degrees of freedom means global size matrix also 8 by 8. Uh, can you imagine how to solve 8 by 8 matrix in conventional method? Okay, I know you can solve it because methodology are same, means just prepare a global stiffness matrix, then apply boundary condition and find out displacement. But conventionally or traditionally there is a limitation for solving. For that purpose in syllabus we have only triangular and square. Okay, and for single element means जैसे अपने बार में 1 element 2 element 3 element means single bar can discretize into number of elements maybe up to 3. Okay, in that case uh, you just solve a 3 by 3 or 4 by 4 matrix. But if you take a square element and that square element again divide into 2 elements, okay, means number of node increases, degree of freedom increases, maybe that matrix converted into 16 by 16, and we have a limitation solve that matrix in conventional method. So syllabus point of view or exam point of view, university just define only 2 by 2 with limitation or with constraint triangular and square. Okay, next, that is two-dimensional analysis include plane stress and plane strain analysis. So we already discussed a single problem means a problem of two-dimensional analysis may be a plane stress and plane strain problem. Okay, then even though most engineering problems are three-dimensional in nature, certain causes can be analyzed with sufficiently accuracy using 2D analysis. Means most of, or you can say almost all engineering problems having in three-dimensional in nature. Okay, but only for simplicity we engineers we assume or we take or we consider that 3D problem into 2D problem. Means if you consider a single page of notebook, that also a 3D object, but we consider negligible third dimension. We not consider as a zero, we just negligible third dimension as a zero. But practically a page also a three-dimensional, but only for simplicity or for assumption point of view we consider as a 2D, or most of engineering problem, we can convert three-dimensional into two-dimensional for simplicity of our calculation. Means if you consider a cylinder, you can take just a uh, plane for calculation. Means, and that plane you can revolve in 360 degree. So that two-dimensional apply for 3D also. Okay. In this manner, this is a sentence. Most of engineering problem are three-dimensional in nature. Certain cases can be analyzed with sufficiently accuracy, means with proper result, with feasible solution, we can using we solve that three-dimensional into two-dimensional analysis. Okay. Then type of 2D element. So this table already discussed in unit number 1, 1D element. In 1D element, you consider as a rod or beam, that is length, two node or shortest distance between two nodes, 2 points, and this is a basic mathematics how to calculate volume or area of any object. So a, a rod means we can consider it having length, and a cross section area is it's circular, maybe square. So length into area is nothing but volume. Then for two-dimensional, we consider triangle and square. So example are shell or plane stress, plane strain, and symmetric. So these are the type of analysis of 2D stress analysis problem. And element type is triangular, CST and LSR. That is, or in simple words, you can say triangular or square or rectangular. This is graphical representation. Then thickness, area into thickness is nothing but volume of that element. If you take T is equal to 0, volume is equal to 0, but this does not happen. We consider negligible. T is equal to something 000, but something. Okay. Then regarding 3D, this is not in our syllabus. Still, just knowledge point of view, triangular element in tetrahedral and cubical in shape. Then this is graphical representation, and volume calculation possible. Yes, we can calculate volume of all elements, all objects, and I think nothing is impossible to calculate a volume of any object. Okay. Then miscellaneous element for FE analysis, that is we consider spring, masses, rigid link. Okay. So this is somewhat miscellaneous other than standard. So for standard purpose, we consider only 1D, 2D, and 3D. Okay. Same. Two of the dimensions are very large in comparison to third. That is two-dimensional element. Means you consider a triangular plate, square plate having area x and y in consider in x and y direction and negligible in z direction. Okay. Type quadra and tra, that is triangular quadra. Sorry, quad and tra. Shortly say. Then type of element, thin shell, plate, membrane or sheet, plane stress, and axis symmetry, solid. Okay. So this is various type of elements. Practical application, sheet metal plates, plastic component like instrument panel, or in all 2D elements, 2D applications. Okay. Maybe you need to analyze a cover of or body part of automobile, or maybe plate mounted on decks, or any which considered as a two-dimensional. So that object or that application solved by using these 2D elements. Okay. These are the practical applications. Okay. Tra, that is triangular, chord, quadratic. Again, triangular element having two types: shape remains same, but changes. Can you comment on this diagram? What is the difference between these two diagrams? Both are triangular elements. Can you comment? What is the difference between these two diagrams or two type? Yes, correct. Order is difference. First order, second order, or higher order. You can say this is first order, this is second order. Number of node are increases. So shape remains same. There are only three sides. Yes. Here also shape remains same, triangular. Sides are three, but nodes are different. Okay, can you tell me total degree of freedom of first diagram and total degree of freedom of second diagram? Okay, there is only difference between total degree of freedom only. Okay, if number of node increases, total number of degree of freedom also increases. Three nodes means 6 degree of freedom, and 6 nodes means, yes, correct, 12 degree of freedom. Okay, similarly chord, that is square element, okay, having 4 nodes, and in higher order you consider as an 8 node. Okay, this is intermediate node, this is end node. Okay, there are total 4 end nodes, 1 2 3 4, and total 4 intermediate nodes. Node on side 1, intermediate node 1 on side 1. Similarly intermediate, this is intermediate node. Okay, intermediate node on side 2, side 3, side 4. Okay, so this is known as constant strain triangle. Second, also known as linear strain. We will discuss in theory why this is called as a constant strain triangle, then why this is called as a linear strain triangle. Okay, we will discuss this in theory. From this discussion, can you submit correct answer of poll? Why do FA engineer use 1D elements? This is multiple answer question, multiple choice question, multiple answer question. So I am launch this question. Please submit your correct answer. Just wait for a minute. I'm launch first. Please, please remember this is multiple choice, multiple answer question. Okay. Why do FA engineer use 1D element? First option, it represent more accurate long member than solid. It is useful when bending is the root cause of failure. Means bending की वजह से failure हो सकता है. That is root causes of failure. Third one, it is easier to model than 2D and 3D elements. This is multiple choice, multiple answer. Okay. Please reply. This is useful for theory questions or for concept point of view also. This is also useful. Please be quick. Just read, then think and submit. because in any subject or any topic, if you clear your doubt in first session, first topic, then ultimately you can clear your second session, second topic. Likewise, you can clear your all subjects. Okay, if you miss any link or any session, then that is dangerous for you. Okay. Okay, I'm close this poll, and you can see your result. Okay, almost 90% voted correctly. 72% click one, 72% click second option, 85% click third option. Okay, means you give justice for this question, means almost all are doing well. Yes, answer is all of three, because uh, actually selection of this option is that depend upon your thinking, logical or subjective. Okay, some might be select third option, some might be second or first, all are correct. Okay, that depend upon designer thinking, designer condition, designer point of view. This is subjective. It represent more accurate long member than solid. Okay, means number of nodes or नंबर ऑफ डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम जितना कम होगा उतना मैक्सिमम एक्यूरेसी पॉसिबल है. यस, मींस feasible solution are more accurate in 1D as compared to 2D or 3D. That's why third option also correct. It is useful when bending is the root cause of me. If you consider 1D problem, then there is a chances of failure that element by bending or by using transverse load. Okay, जैसे आप सिंपल एक पेन लो और उसके ऊपर टेंसाइल फोर्स अप्लाई करो, जल्दी नहीं टूटेगा. बट if you apply transverse force or perpendicular to the axis of that pen, it will break easily. Okay, so this is the root cause of failure by bending. Okay, next. Second, wait. I have some technical problem. Okay, sorry for disturbance. Regarding 1D element, also referred to as a line element, often used to represent member which are long, too long compared to measure of cross section L by R greater than 20. L by R means L is nothing but length of that element and R is nothing but radius. So length by radius greater than 20. If this ratio is greater than 20, so that membrane, or sorry, that element called as a linear element or long element or 1D element. Okay, means आप chalk को linear element नहीं consider कर सकते because that ratio is not greater than 20. If that ratio is greater than 20, then we can consider that is long member. Okay, then useful when bending is root cause failure. Fundamental causes change in material property long the cross section are negligible, means that area of cross section are uniform and property also same, that is homogeneous. So this is practical application of element. Here a figure of ship mounting on conveyor, sorry, no, crane. That crane made up of several linkages, and that linkages considered as a 1D element for analysis. So this is our practical application. Hello student, am I audible? And what about screen? Okay, thank you. Thank you for reply. Similarly, second question, please submit your answer. Same question, why do FA engineer use 2D element? It is used to investigate bending deformation. It is easier to model than 3D. It can represent fully thin shell structure. It saves some calculation time versus 3D model. Okay, thank you for your reply. Yes, all are correct answer. It is used to investigate bending deformation, maybe in X direction, Y direction. It is easy model. Yes, yeah, this is also correct. It can represent fully thin shell structure, means 2D structure, thin structure. It saves some calculation time. Obviously, 1D required small time, 2D required more time, and 3D solid element required more time as compared to 1 and 3. Yes, all are correct. Okay, please reply for third question. What are the main disadvantages of using 3D solid element? Lecture. गुड गुड, आई थिंक सभी लोग स्मार्ट हो गए अभी. What are the main disadvantages using 3D solid element? It does not show bending deformation. It requires good automation. Automation means for discretization purpose. It take too much computational power as well as time. I am asking disadvantages of 3D element. Okay, I'm close here. All are correct answer. What are the main disadvantages of using 3D solid element? All are correct answer. Okay, means you can select, means from these three question you can easily clarify what is 1D element and when we can apply 1D, 2D and 3D, or on in which condition you can or you may apply this element type. Okay. Two D same, also refer as a shell, then uh, often used when thin steel structure are under bending deformation. ठीक है, जैसे ये शेल है तो ड्यू टू ट्रांसवर्स लोड ये बेंड हो सकता है, करेक्ट. So can consider 2D stress condition and bending and shearing, deformation. Fundamental assumption, change in material property along the thickness of the structure are negligible. For simplicity, you always consider changes of mechanical properties, whether you consider 1D, 2D or 3D, that properties are negligible. ठीक है ना, हम कोई भी एक डेरिवेशन करते हैं इंजीनियरिंग में तो हम कुछ assumptions create करते हैं, ठीक है, for just for simplicity, or but practically this is not happen. Okay, means all you above means aware that uh, there is a no ideal condition, no homogeneous material available practically. Okay, we just assume some uh, uh, means parameter for easy calculation. Okay, this is regarding 3D element, also refer as a solid element since actual tasks deal with 3D model, that is practical application our using CAD, they are used in analyze the most. Okay, so mesh creating using 3D model, this is our 3D object. So almost all engineering applications are 3D. Okay, for practical purpose. uh, I will take just a last poll of today's session. Wait.